This is Natalie Clack from JustBE Coaching Company in Johannesburg, South Africa. This is our first on the series of natural self-help tools for the busy entrepreneur. Here, we would like to provide you with information on self-help tools that are easy to learn, easy to implement, and that will empower you to be more effective in your business and your personal life so that you can be free to live your best life in prosperity and success. Okay, so today we have a very special guest, Leslie Marsh, and she comes to us, a professional speaker, storyteller, hypnotherapist, and coach from Leslie Marsh Coaching and Consultancy in Scotland. Hi, Leslie. Welcome to our show.
Hi, Natalie. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Please, will you tell the audience about yourself and your business?
Well, if you can get round the accent, I'll speak slowly because I do get a little excited on occasions. As it says, I'm a professional speaker, so basically I love to talk. Brilliant job for me. And storyteller. Well, we all love a story, and the stories that we tell actually are what make our life what it is. So I figured that out a little while ago and thought to myself, whose talk am I walking? Is it mine? Or is it something I've inherited from someone else? And after having a think about that, and actually a big change in career, because from the age of 11, I was a zookeeper and then a vet nurse. And I worked with animals because animals were easy. You knew exactly what was happening with an animal. If it didn't like you, it soon told you. If it did like you, well, everything was just rosy. And as you know, there's nothing better than the cuddle of a dog or, even sometimes if you're really lucky, a chimpanzee. But that's another thing. I had a couple of incidents. The universe decided to say, hang on a minute, Leslie, it's about time that you started doing what you're supposed to be doing. And it sent me a Rottweiler at 2 o'clock in the morning who wasn't very happy at all. So the Rottweiler basically gave me the message. It's time to stop this now and go out into the real world of human beings, because that's what you are. You walk like a human being. You talk like a human being. Guess what? You're a human being. Work it. So I was always interested in stories. So NLP was the thing that I went for, because for me, NLP is storytelling. And when we tell our story, what we don't realize is we're also listening to our story. Every single part of us, every cell is taking that story in. And if we're going around saying, oh, well, I'm just so depressed, and this is happening, and that is happening, and it's just not right, and I don't know what to do. Your universal mind, as I like to call it, because it is not unconscious, it's jacked into everything. It's listening and says, oh, this is how you really want to feel. This is what you believe. Okay, then, we'll give you more of that emotion, because that's where you're comfortable. Strangely, we're not comfortable. But we keep doing it because we don't know any other story to tell. Because we keep manifesting the same one. So that came to me and I started doing fairy tales. Now, part of my therapy business is shamanic. So I am a shamanic practitioner as well, which means that I go to other levels of understanding. As can everyone. You go to sleep, you dream, you're in another universe. And that's where it gets fantastical. However, when you distill it down and understand that your universal mind is telling you a story of the kind of things that you are building up inside you. If you're having a nightmare, there's something you have to look at. If you can't get to sleep properly, you're not allowing your universal mind to deal with it. So basically my job, my way of working is to allow you to take back the authorship of your own story and to understand that whether we do it to a drum with power animals or whether we just do it by listening and retelling a story in a different way, we're going to get you to shift the shape of your thoughts, to shift the shape of your life.
Wow, Leslie, that's very, very powerful. And you had me hanging on every word of your story already. Okay, I'd like to ask you if you could please tell me, what do you use to assist yourself to daily deal with the hurdles that come your way as an entrepreneur in this very busy, fast-paced environment?
Well, I give myself a good talking to every now and again. It's very true. I had cancer in 2010 of the womb. And I discovered then, because of the way that I work, I'm thinking to myself, okay, shamanic, this is definitely going to be a job for the shamanic and for the power of the mind. My universal mind is going to start working with me and for me. So we had a discussion, and I discovered, because the universal mind will put into your way of understanding and noticing the things that you need. All you have to do is pay attention. And I have this book by Serge Kahili King called Mastering Your Hidden Self. And inside there, now I do apologize to this gentleman because I can never say his name properly because it's really one of those interesting ones. Dr. Eichen Trotter, something like that. If you read the book, you'll see it. He's a doctor and he did this thing. And basically it's a case of, and I think it was the beginning, the very tip of the iceberg where Gabor Mate took it as a physiologist and went further. And it's a case of looking at yourself in the mirror, because we don't look at ourselves in the mirror. We don't look eye to eye. We brush our teeth and we kind of go, oh, what's that spot? What's it doing here? But we don't look. Look in the mirror, look yourself in the eye and say, hello, good morning. What are we going to do today? How are we going to feel about that? I think we should probably look at it in the way that it's a lesson, a learning, an opportunity. When it was the cancer, it was a case of, okay, guys, listen up. I know that you're really good at what you do, and I don't really need to know what you're called or how you work it. I'm just telling you now, go do your thing. So, liver, listen, we're going to have some poison put into us soon because we're going to have chemotherapy. And we know that's not going to be good, but I want you to be aware of it. I want you to be aware it's happening so you can cope, so you're going to be ready. Then go through the pancreas, then go through the part where the cancer was. And I actually, at one point, frightened 11 daylights out of my surgeon, which was great. And it was a case of, I had been drumming. I had the impulse to drum, and I follow my impulses these days because they've never guided me wrong so far. And I was drumming to my womb, and I could feel what was going on because I was attached to it, because I was already connected, and I was in the way of allowing myself to take a journey on a blood cell and go all the way down and find out where things were and what was doing. It's amazing what your mind can do. And yes, it is imagination. It's the nation of image. And we are able to make reality out of images. So the upshot is, I go to the doctor. He does this and he says, oh, you know, you didn't ask me about what happened in the operation. And I was like, no, I didn't have to. He said, what do you mean? I said, it had abrupted, hadn't it? It had burst. How do you know this? And he said, because I saw it. I said, don't worry about it. Don't think about it. It's just my kind of thing. It's what I do. So I extrapolate that, and I said to myself, I can use this on a daily basis. I can do it. I can say, okay, you're feeling a little bit rough this morning. That's probably because you didn't sleep well. That's in the past now. Today, we're going to do this. We're going to be noticing this. We're going to be looking at this. We are going to be saying to ourselves, I need energy. What do I do to get that? Maybe I need a cat nap for 20 minutes in the afternoon. Maybe I just need to go for a walk and get the fresh air around. So I want my universal mind to prompt me, to give me the urge to go for a walk. And then my conscious mind to say, yeah, put down what you're doing and go and have a walk. So I talk to myself. And I changed the story of how I'm feeling, because a thought is just a thought until an emotion becomes attached to it. And we can, like a phone cover, we can take, oh, I don't like that color today. Don't want that color today. I want to put that one on. It's all bright, sparkly and gorgeous. And when I look at it, it's going to make me smile. So why don't we do that with ourselves? So it makes us ready. And if I know who I'm going to speak to, if I don't know them, it's an adventure. If I've never spoken to them before, I don't know where the conversation is going to go. And I like that. I like the adventure of it, because if you allow that to happen, sometimes you learn a lot more than you thought you were going to.
Oh, absolutely. Really. I can sit and listen to you for hours. You speak to my soul. I think we all have these hurdles in life, and it's nice to know that there are little options that you can implement that help you. Can you tell me a little bit about the challenges you've experienced as a busy entrepreneur and what tools you've used to overcome those?
Well, bringing what I do shamanically, particularly with the storytelling also, from a niche market into the mainstream can be an interesting proposition. Learning the language of how to speak to people who are not that way inclined, shall we say, is an interesting prospect, because the way you present yourself when you're presenting an idea that is not of their ken, and they're a little bit, ooh, that's a bit weird. I don't think I want to go there. What do I want to do that for? But it's amazing that when you step outside that familiarity zone, what you can learn. So what I do is I offer it in a way that couches it in the terms of what they will know. So I did an event recently, Be Limitless this year. So I had a lot of people who came in thinking, oh, it's going to be about barriers and this and this and this. And I said, yeah, we're going to teach you how to get into your unconscious mind or your universal mind and really work it where there are no limits, where it doesn't matter what weight you are, what height you are, what condition you are, if you're able or disabled in this reality. Up here, it's still working. So we're going to take you into a space that normally you would only have when you sleep, where you are limitless, because there is no body to be stuck inside. So I couch it in terms that are different, and I still get the odd, what? But at the same time, as I said, everybody loves a story. And in the boardrooms of Japan and America, North America, there are storytellers who are coming in more and more, because I think it was Brené Brown who said that facts and figures are just a story without a soul.
Wow.
And if you use metaphor, you will get a whole barrel full of facts and figures inside that story, and people will remember it better because it attaches to something that attaches to an emotional connection inside them. When I discovered that fairy tales were shamanic journeys, oh my goodness, did I have a great time with that. And we had people, curiosity factor is a big one. We had people coming from, we had lawyers, we had solicitors, we had HR people, we had nurses, we had doctors, all coming in to our circle to listen to a fairy tale because they wondered, why is it only for adults? Why would I want to sit and listen to a story? But I'm going to because I want to know why. And once we'd picked their jaws up off the floor and reattached them, it was a case of, oh, wow, that's how that works. And how can I use that in my job, in my daily life? Actually, Joseph Campbell's been doing it for a long time. It's the hero's journey. Okay. Every story is a hero's journey, and you really need to be the hero of your own story.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, our journeys are really so tied up in our businesses as business entrepreneurs and even top business people, aren't it? I mean, at the end of the day, we are our journey, and what we bring to the world comes from that skill and that expertise that we've gained. Can you perhaps give us a couple of easy to learn or easy to use, easy to incorporate tools that can help us to overcome our hurdles with regards to storytelling?
Well, it's interesting because I was just about to say I have a journey, a course called Up, which is unlimited potential, unique perspectives, and universal possibilities. And basically that's what everyone is.
Okay.
And has. And it came about because I realized that through chronic illness, a lot of people were apathetic and had lost any idea of the story they wanted to tell because they just didn't care anymore. Nobody cared about them and their perception, and why should they care about doing anything else? And I think it's very true that we often are the victim of the marks that people make on us when we're little, because we see people who we look up to, our peers, our parents, teachers, people in authority, who tell us, no, you can't do that. That's not what you do. So we're like sponges and we take it all in. Time to wring the sponge out and say, okay, now I'm going to take in the yes, I can. What happens when I do this? Ooh, and if it doesn't work, wring the sponge out a little bit, do something else. Think about it. Think about, what do I feel like when someone tells me I can't do this or that? Is it a memory feeling? Or is it something new? If it's a memory feeling, then it's echoing something that someone told you a long time ago, that you weren't good enough or you weren't in the social strata to be able to do that. Tosh, don't do that anymore. I mean, we don't have borders anymore. We have Zoom. We're global. And if we can do this, what else can we do? Think about things differently now. Write yourself a story in the morning. Journal. I find journaling, all you need is a little inexpensive book and a pen, and take a little time out in the morning. You can go from 10 minutes, half an hour is good. If you don't have half an hour because you're really busy, why are you so busy when you're really wanting to look after yourself? Because if you don't look after yourself, it's like running a car with no oil in it. You'll get so far and then it'll just go bang. Won't work anymore. So be good to yourself. Allow yourself some time. If it means adjusting your timetable so you get up half an hour earlier, go to bed half an hour earlier, still get what you need. And as you write, you can think of, I have a friend who actually teaches this. Wonderful woman, Caroline Johnson. She has Dare to Be Happier, she calls it. And she has a journal book. And she has a theme every year. She has a theme of the year. And everything she writes has something to do with this theme. But you don't have to do it for a year. You could do it in a month. You could have a theme a week. Yeah. It's up to you. And sometimes just having that dump of information, it's cathartic. It's like getting it all out of here and putting it all down there. And the best way to do it is by hand, because the action of that allows the energy to flow down, and that's how it comes out of you.
Okay.
So getting things out, understanding where you are, and then think about this. Are you sitting in a bath of custard? Because it's icky, it's horrible, it's nasty, and you kind of want to go out, but you're... Oh, no, just put my hand back in there again because that's just awful. And then you have oh, look, way over there in the corner of the room, there's a door. And on that door, there's a nice dressing gown. And it's all warm and towely and nice. But I have to get from here to there. And it's a flagstone floor and I might slip, and it's cold out there and the temperature's not right. I just stay in this gunk because I know this gunk. And it's the same temperature as me. And it's kind of strangely, weirdly comfortable in an uncomfortable kind of way. And even sometimes where we get out of that bath and we run across and we're in the towel and we're like, oh, that's so nice. And it's great. And we're about to open the door to get ourselves out of that situation, out of that way of thinking. And we look around and we go, that's still there. Maybe I should just go and pull the plug. But it all goes down the plug hole. So what do? We get our nice towelly robe and we put the sleeve up and we put our hand back in the bath. And suddenly we're back in the bath again.
That makes a lot of sense. Deja vu.
So, yeah, so it's a case of when you get out of that bath, you get the towel and robe on, get out the door. leave the bath because nobody's ever going to go back in that room but you, because it's yours. It's not anybody else's, it's yours. And I think that it's very important to look after ourselves, find what it is that makes our souls sing. And that sounds very woo-woo, but actually you know that feeling. Yeah. Everybody knows that feeling, unless you are clinically and immeasurably depressed. And even then, there's a song waiting for you to hear it. Just unplug your ears, lift your eyes, and look up instead of down at your feet all the time. Absolutely. Change your perspective. And I think that that's important. See something new every day.
Okay. Well, that's awesome advice. Really, it does. It gives us an opportunity to stop and look at things from another perspective. So you don't get so caught up in it.
I think it's very important because we are separated. We are a part of, but still apart from nature. Yeah. And there is something these days which really amazes me called nature deficit disorder. Okay. Where children are afraid to go out in nature. They don't understand what grass is. They don't understand what a cow is. They just don't, and they look at it and it's like fear. I don't want to do that. It's disgusting.
So as a parent, what do you think there could possibly top 3 tips that you could give a parent that has not necessarily been empowering their children with the experience or doesn't know how to get their child there? Because, social interactions and social media and friends and peers, they all set the platform for how our children behave, how they respond, and what they think they should do. So what would you suggest?
One of the easiest things to do is to grow things and then eat them. So you have like watercress, which you can grow on the back of a little piggy pot. Okay. You can get little piggy pots with little watercress things growing out of them. And it's just the act of understanding what happens, how nature works, or a plant pot. Sunflowers are excellent, particularly the giant ones, if you have the space. Yeah. They don't need a lot of root space, but they will grow. Some of them will grow 12 feet. So be very careful you don't get the big giant ones.
Can you pop them into a flower pot?
You just pop them into a flower pot.
Okay.
And it's the act of teaching the child the responsibility of watering, of feeding, and then watching what happens when what they're doing has an effect. And this beautiful thing starts to grow and they watch it, and it teaches patience, and it teaches what happens when the magic is, I put that teeny thing in there and this amazing big thing came out of it. Incredible. Just because I remembered to water it and to put it, and it follows the sun.
Yes.
Wow. It's a living thing. And I did that. Taking them out to places and showing them what a tree is, allowing them to touch the tree and to feel, because they don't have all this stuff that we've got about, well, that's a load of, no, that you don't want to do that. That's just silly. And these are the things that children learn. Yeah. When adults say, you don't want to do that. That's an opinion, not a fact. Yes. However, to a child, it's a fact. Yes. So I can't do that because my mum or my dad or my big brother or my big sister, well, they're afraid of it, so I should be afraid of it too. Yes. They don't like it, so I shouldn't like it too.
Yes.
We make marks. We don't even realize we're making marks. It could be we're just in a bad mood. It could be that we're just being ironic or just sarcastic. Children don't know that. Yeah. They take everything as absolute truth. Yes. Mummy said that, so it must be true. You're just so annoying. Oh, I'm annoying. Okay. Yes. How can I be? Well, I'm just annoying. So I best not talk to anybody because I'll just annoy them.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. Being a busy entrepreneur since 2005 and raising my children predominantly myself, you get so caught up in trying to get your business to work and trying to get through all your tasks and juggling all the hats that you forget that everything that you snap at your children is something they take to heart. Is there any tip that you could give a busy entrepreneur on how they could maybe put a little plant in their office or something they could put in their office that would help them to possibly lift themselves out of that heaviness?
You know, I like my screensaver because I have it set up for views of nature and mountains and different things that I can see. And every so often there'll be a really funny kind of thing, or a whale's tail, or a little robin who reminds me of the birds outside. You're just feeding the birds occasionally on your way to work. Or if you've got your, you know, you're having your lunch with your little baggie, you know, have a little pot of seeds, don't give them bread. But frozen peas are good. Frozen peas are good, you know, or fruit, blueberries, blackbirds love fruit. But it's one of those things that also you have to first of all start with yourself, because they're going to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, you know, be selfish, take some time. I am really, really into teaching people about ceremony, because it's mindful appreciation of something that you have done, that you have achieved. And that filters down to children too.
Yes.
When they come with their little painting, look what I did at nursery or kindergarten or preschool, whichever you call it. I did this. And sometimes it's a case of, yeah, right, great, I'm busy. Just, you know, and it's a case of, oh, wow, this child has spent energy and time doing this and is so proud of it. What am I going to do? Take that pride in their achievement and their energy and their thought, their thoughtfulness, and just say, I'm busy? Or am I going to say, let's stick it on the fridge so everybody can see it? Because that's great. Now tell me about this. It takes 5 minutes.
That's awesome. And that's taking the business entrepreneur that you are and handing down those successes they can bounce back on when they become entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I have a friend who is absolutely one of the most inspiring women that I have ever met in my life. And to tell you the truth, the reason that she is that way is because her parents told her that she could do anything.
Awesome.
And that's what it is. We try very hard to do everything. But actually what we should do, and anybody who's going to be an entrepreneur will have heard this before, find your niche, find your tribe, go with that. Focus on the one thing. Why are you trying to do everything when you can delegate? Teaching the child to wash a dish, teaching the child to make a scrambled egg. You can also teach the child where the egg came from in the first place. And, you know, and you can also, there's so many opportunities that actually feed our souls at the same time. Yeah. Because we feel good when we impart this kind of stuff, because we see it through their eyes. Yeah. The eyes of a child are absolutely non-filtered. They see more than we do. They feel more than we do. And a lot of the times when they're getting upset and they're getting frustrated is because they can't actually verbalize what they need to, what they want to tell you. That they're upset and frustrated because they can't speak to you, they can't be with you, they can't do this, and you're not letting them. Yeah. Because you're so busy trying to provide for them. Yeah. They don't understand that. Yeah. Oh, they want a hug or yeah, that was really great. How did you do that? Yes. So,
but funny enough, it actually empowers your business even, because you know, when you spend that little time with them, that nugget of gold that you get, funnily enough, it's not long and you're out there sharing that experience with a client or a colleague or another entrepreneur. And you don't even realize that that story might feed their souls and help them with something that they actually challenged with during their day.
It's like, it's a connection point. It is a connection point, because when there's a leveling that happens. People are, yes, this is business. I have my business face on. This is the facet of my personality now is business based. Now, the interesting thing about this carry on that we've been having for the last 2 years is that the facets and personalities have kind of mingled. Yeah. Because we've had to be at home. We've had to actually do things. Interestingly enough, and people haven't realized it, even the pets are sitting there going, why have you not gone to work? This is my time on the settee. Why are you here?
What are you doing in my spot?
This is when I look out the window and bark at the birds, or sit there and go, ooh, I'd like you for dinner. And it's why are you here? This is not my routine, and everything is kind of gone. And I think that it's a great metaphor. It's a great analogy for life in general, because there are things that are going to happen that we're not expecting.
Absolutely.
We don't have a contingency plan for.
Yeah.
And so the best thing to remember, and it's the best tip that I can give anybody, the reason that we are on the top of the food chain is because we adapt and survive.
I like that. I like that.
It's how we choose to adapt and survive that we have control over. But we are genetically purposed to adapt and to survive. And when you say, I don't like change, I don't like this change thing that's going on, you started changing the minute that the sperm hit the egg.
Incredible.
And you don't stop.
And you don't even think about that, hey?
No, and I found a lovely word yesterday, kaizen, and it's a Japanese word for continuous change.
Okay.
And in the search for perfection.
Incredible. That's incredible. That really speaks to where we're trying to go with our story today. Most of us are working from home. We're around our pets. Our pets attend the Zoom sessions. You know, everywhere you look, there's a cat and a dog, and everybody's a part of it. And if we can include our children and our animals into our business entrepreneurship journey with the right consciousness and love and affection and teamwork, I think we can only grow and develop the world, because we're all one energy after all. So can you tell me, what tools and programs do you offer that our audience can use in the comfort of their own home?
I talk to people and I let people talk to me. So I do a lot of this kind of thing, talking to people and finding out what it is that they want to do with themselves. So I offer a listening situation and advice. I offer NLP. I offer changing your story and teaching you how to pick up the pen and self-author it. I speak on the marks that we make in life and how to really realize that what's happening with them, and how to understand that you can make good marks more than you make bad marks if you only think about it. So being a speaker is one thing that is really powerful to do. And also coaching. I do coaching over Zoom. I do hypnosis over Zoom. I actually do shamanic work over Zoom, because it's all energy.
Yes.
Shamanic work is an energy form of work. It's an energy form of belief. And so everything has spirit. So this has spirit. We are connecting to spirit right now through the energy of electricity and microchips and all the things that we don't even have to know how they work. We just know that there's energy involved. And that's the magic of it. You don't really have to get in there and have a PhD in IT to work a Zoom. All you have to do is press a button, hopefully. And it's one of those things that what I offer is, when you're walking your talk and you're sewing yourself into the cloth of your limitations, I have the scissors.
Awesome. Awesome. And, you know, having had the opportunity and the absolute privilege to have had a session with you already, and possibly one or two to still follow, I highly recommend that any business entrepreneur who wants to shed that limitation and step into their full truth reaches out to you. Can you perhaps tell us how the audience can contact you to acquire access to your tools and book a session?
Well, my email is support@lesliemarsh.org. And I'm on Facebook. So I have the state of mind, which basically it's a case of, are you running your state of mind, or is your state running you? Who's the governor? And also there's the shamanic pages. So there's Shamanism Scotland on Facebook. I have Instagram, I have Twitter. So Spiral Heart 4 is the Instagram and the Twitter handle. I like to keep things simple. And basically, I'm going to be around. So if you want to see me, I'm here. You can email me at support@lesliemarsh.org. And the Leslie is IE, not EY. Because they didn't know if I was going to be a boy or a girl.
Okay. Anyway, I will put all of your links in the chat as well, so that our audience can reach out. And thank you so much for joining us. Tell me, do you have any last thoughts that you'd like to leave our audience with?
I think that the best thing to do is, if you don't know how to be yourself, find yourself first.
That sounds absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for our interview. I thoroughly enjoyed every second with you as always. And I really appreciate the time that you've taken out being in Scotland to connect with me here down south in South Africa. It's been a lovely session. And I strongly suggest that the audience reaches out and contacts you ASAP to see what you have to offer and to plug in and to connect with you on all of your social platforms so that we can start finding out where you're speaking so we can get involved in that. So this is the first of my natural self-help tools for the Busy Entrepreneur series. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time.